Hey guys, and welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. Today we are returning with Game Week 6 and we're starting off Matchday 6 at Selhurst Park, and it's actually a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. There's no Friday evening game, there's no Saturday morning, so we start at 3 PM on Saturday with Crystal Palace hosting Fulham, where I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I'll be honest, this whole fixture I found really difficult to predict. I went for a draw in this one as Palace are generally quite good at home. Fulham have started the season off quite well though, so I went for a draw. Palace concede quite a few goals and they don't score many, so I feel like a draw was a safe bet. Next up in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we have Luton still looking for their first win of the season, hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's the sort of game that Luton will be looking at and thinking that they need to win, but I've really not been too impressed with them this year. Still yet to pick up their first points of the season and having only scored once from open play. I really think Luton are going to struggle the longer the season goes on. I've actually gone for them to fall to defeat again in game 2 here, with Wolves winning by 1-0. They actually looked alright against Liverpool in Matchday 5, but obviously fell to a pretty late defeat in the end. But I think Wolves will just have too much for them. Luton look really poor to start the season off. In game 3 we then have one of probably the only bankers of the fixture, which sees Manchester City hosting Nottingham Forest, again a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday, and in this one I've gone for Man City to win by 3-0. I'd imagine most people will have this as their joker game, as it is really the only game that looks pretty nailed on. Forest have been alright to start the season off, but City just look a different demon. At home as well in the 3 o'clock kickoff, I'd expect them to win comfortably. Next up, game 4 sees Brentford hosting Everton at the G-Tech. Brentford's unbeaten run finally came to an end at St James's Park in Matchday 5, but I've predicted them to return to winning ways here against Everton, who have been pretty poor to start the season off. They fell to defeat at home to Arsenal, which is no surprise really, but they don't score a lot of goals, they don't carry a lot of threat, so I've gone for Brentford to win by 2-0. Game 5 is actually the final fixture of Saturday, and it sees Manchester United travelling to Turf Moor to take on Vincent Kompany's Burnley, fresh off their first point of the season away at the City Ground on a Monday night. I saw quite a lot of the game and they looked pretty decent, Burnley, but I have gone for United to win it by 2-0. United do look really poor, so honestly anything could happen in this game. I've gone for United to win just because it feels like a safe bet, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Burnley got something from the game. And then heading into Sunday, we have a bit of a weird split where 5 of the games are Saturday 3 o'clocks and the rest are on Sunday, so a bit of a weird one. But we kick off with a North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham, and I've actually gone for the Gunners to win this one by 3-1. I was looking at previous history of the North London derby where they have quite a good record. Obviously Spurs have started the season off pretty strongly, but it's at the Emirates, so I've gone for Arsenal to actually inflict Tottenham their first loss of the season. Game 7 between Brighton and Bournemouth, I've actually gone for the same scoreline of 3-1. Brighton look very good this year again under Roberto De Zerbi, just off the back of beating Manchester United at Old Trafford. They will see this one as a game that they should win. Bournemouth obviously got that 0-0 draw against Chelsea, although everyone's taking points off them at the moment. But I have gone for both teams to score, as Brighton aren't the best at keeping clean sheets. Speaking of Chelsea, game 8 sees them hosting a very in-form Aston Villa side, and for once I've actually predicted my own team to lose. I'm normally pretty optimistic with Chelsea, but at this point I've just lost all faith. They are back at home at Stamford Bridge, but Aston Villa are in good form. I've gone for them to win it by 2-0. Chelsea just don't look like scoring at the moment. And then the final 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday sees Liverpool, with the current longest unbeaten run in the Premier League, hosting West Ham, who they themselves have also had a very good start to the season. However, I have gone for Liverpool to win it only by 2-1, as I have been impressed with West Ham so far this year. But Liverpool at Anfield on the unbeaten streak that they're on is a very tough trip for any side. And then finally, to round out the fixture, we have Sheffield United hosting Newcastle at Bramall Lane. I have to say, Sheffield United have improved with pretty much every game they've played. They're starting to score a few goals, and they nearly beat Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in Matchday 5. I have gone for them to fall to defeat here once again against Newcastle by 2-1. But it is one of those with Newcastle playing midweek away in Italy at the San Siro. Sheffield United may be looking at that and thinking it's a game they can get something out of. And as I sort of briefly alluded to earlier, my joker game this week is, of course, Manchester City against Nottingham Forest. City haven't been keeping a huge amount of clean sheets, and Forest do look quite good, especially with Taiwo Awoniyi in their attack. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Forest do get a goal, but Man City could get anything. We saw them put 5 past Fulham. They got 3 against West Ham at the London Stadium in Matchday 5. They are a tough team to predict at the moment, but you're pretty much always guaranteed for them to get the win. So there is our predictions for Matchday 6. Let's go and check out how we're doing in the league standings after Matchday 5. So here is the full table. You can see we're currently sat in 10th place, which is of course where we finished last year come the end of the season, but we've still got a long way to go, and you'll see that it's very, very tight. 5 points separate 2nd to 11th. So yeah, very, very tight. We just need to keep going. We did pretty well in game week 5, so we'll go and take a look at exactly how many points we got. There is the breakdown, and again you'll see a lot of people around the sort of 12 to 10 point mark. Pretty much everyone in the fixture was in between that bracket, so I was happy to be in there. We got 1 correct score and 6 correct results, and our joker just about got us that extra point. There is the full breakdown. So as I mentioned, Tottenham just about getting that win got us our 2 points, although I probably would have preferred seeing Spurs lose it. We also got 3 points for Aston Villa's late heroics against Crystal Palace, which was a great shout because not a lot of people, in fact if anyone, had 3-1 Villa in that game. We also picked up a couple of 1-pointers for Fulham beating Luton, Manchester City beating West Ham, which I thought I'd gone for 3-1 for, but I had 2-1 annoyingly, Newcastle beating Brentford, and then heading into Sunday we also had Arsenal to beat Everton at Goodison Park. So a pretty good week overall. I was happy to just sort of remain in the mix. It's when you have bad weeks, when everyone else does well, that you really start to drop down the table. So like I say, at the moment I'm just pretty happy to be in the mix. 45 points keeps us within reach of those at the top, and I'm right in there with my dad and my mate. I'm sandwiched in between the middle of those two, and our other mate Callum is struggling just a couple of points below us. But at the moment still a lot to play for, lots of points to be won, and I'm pretty happy with our position. We obviously want to make it into the money come the end of the season, and we're definitely putting ourselves in a position to compete come the last few fixtures. But that will do it for today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. We'll be back with Game Week 7 next week, and I hope to catch you for it then. Peace.